The Phillies playing Smash Brothers last night. The Eagles and Howie Roseman are playing chess, not checkers. All right, with the NFL. All that and more coming live to you in 30 seconds.
Holding gets around in front. Joel Embiid and Philadelphia has it.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Trending in the AM right here on DSM Media. Live, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. You know the drill. Like, share, retweet, follow. Come on now. You know it. This is not the first time in this show. You know the drill. Make sure you do it. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. That way we continue to spread the word. Help us build our algorithms. Drop your comments in the comments section there on YouTube. Best way to get interactive with the show is right there on the DSM Media, the YouTube page. Guys, I'm rolling solo today, all by myself. Didn't ask anybody to come on. I got a lot to talk about today. We've been busy on this show. Got a lot of guests, a lot of different people. Lots to get off my chest. So we are going to cover lots of topics. Make sure, like I said, you get interactive. I love it. It's the only way we could do solo, as if there's some interactive from everybody watching. We're going to talk Phillies. The bats came alive last night, but I don't care. So we're going to talk that to start the show. We are going to go over all the Eagles' moves over the last 48 hours, all the cuts, some of the surprise cuts, some of the practice squad names, where this roster is, the big trades that have gone down in the last 48 hours of the Eagles, because there are two big trades, not just one. So we're going to go over all that today and some other stuff at the end of the show. We'll see how long I ramble on for, how much I talk, how much interaction, but, I got some other interesting topics I want to drop at the end. We'll see how much time we've got left, but let's just get started right away with the Fighting Phils. Last night, the Phillies come out. Bats a-blazing last night. Win 18-2 against the Arizona Diamondbacks. End their 3-game skid. 18 runs. Most runs scored, I think it was like 7-8 years I saw somewhere on social media. I forget the exact year, but it's been a long time since they've scored 18 runs. Every single starter on the lineup last night had multiple hits. Every single starter drove in at least one run last night. Every single starter scored a run last night. Bailey, don't call me Bradley Falter. Only a few people will get that. 6 1/3 inning, only gave up one run. No walks, 6 Ks. Gets his third win on the Phillies roster. Yes, going solo, my friend. Can't ever imagine the Phillies have ever done this. When's the last time I know, it's crazy. I have no clue. I don't know if I've ever seen a box score where everyone's gotten multiple hits. Everybody's driven in runs and everybody's scored. It's insane. But I don't care. Last night really solidified what I wanted to talk about yesterday. And shout out to yesterday's guest on the show, Trev from Ref the District. Shout out to him because great guest, a lot of great conversation about the Washington Commanders versus the Philadelphia Eagles and the NFC East as a whole. But I didn't get to talk about the game before or this 3-game losing streak that was ended last night. And 2 nights ago, Aaron Nola got just completely demolished by this exact Diamondbacks team. And all anybody wanted to talk about on social media, well, the offense let him down. The offense only got 2 runs in that game. The offense didn't let us down. Aaron Nola let the Phillies team down 2 nights ago. So last night's 18 runs, it's great. It's fantastic. Great way to bust out of a losing streak. Because let's be honest, outside of that loss to the Diamondbacks the night before with Aaron Nola on the mound, the offense has been scoring. The game before that we lost, they scored 7 runs. It's just their bullpen, it gave up 13 runs. Bellotti got beat up. I think Chris Sanchez came in that game, got beat up. So the offense, realistically speaking, has been not perfect, And last night was a great way to bust out, but it's not been what's been causing that 3-game losing streak. It's been the pitching. And I got into it on Twitter yesterday after the show, talking about how everyone's like, oh, everybody's going to only talk about Aaron Nola and not about the fact that the Bats let us down. 2 nights ago, the Bats weren't expected to score 17 runs or 18 runs or 10 runs. They went up against Zach Gallen, a better pitcher than Aaron Nola, who's having a great season in Arizona when they don't have to. I mean, we're into September. Today is September 1st, start of the new month, start of, school, and fall is around the corner and all that. Summer's basically over. The Diamondbacks aren't making the playoffs. Zach Gallen could be packing it in for the season. Let's rest the arm for next year. But he's still out there dominating. And I don't expect the Phillies to be able to go out there and put up 10 runs against Zach Gallen. But Aaron Nola is exactly similar to Zach Gallen in the sense where he's supposed to be the best pitcher. He's supposed to come out in a big moment. We had a 2-game losing streak 2 nights ago when Aaron Nola took the mound. We're trying to make a run to the playoffs here. Aaron Nola came out and threw a clunker, a massive clunker. Just got completely destroyed every pitch. No, he had nothing working whatsoever. He came up small in a big moment. So for those people that are saying that we need to talk about the offense the other night and not Aaron Nola, you're wrong. We got to talk about Aaron Nola and how, look, the Phillies are making the playoffs, guys. There's no doubt about it in my mind. They're going to break their 11-year drought of not playing in the playoffs and postseason baseball this year. It's going to happen. I mean, it would take an epic collapse at this point, which could happen, which is leading to my point here. But let's be honest. Aaron Nola has always, this Phillies team has been so close the last couple of years, even dating back to the Gabe Kapler years. It's been so close. And then a September collapse has happened, and late August, early September collapse, and we've just missed it multiple times. Aaron Nola is one of those guys. Zach Wheeler, who's on the injured list right now, will be back supposedly next week sometime. Those guys need to step up and do what they're paid to do, and that's be ace pitchers. Aaron Nola has had his struggles in September. He kind of wears out, burns out by the end of the season. He can't do that this year. We're going to be playing postseason baseball. You need Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler. The way baseball works now, the fact that if you're one of those wild card teams, you do not get a home playoff game in that first round. It's a best-of-3 series right now. I believe we're scheduled to go up against the Braves if the standings still are accurate. We're going to go play 3 games max in Atlanta, not in Philly. Aaron Nola's got to be able to step up. He can't have bad Septembers and then we don't know what he's going to be like in October because he's never pitched in October. Aaron Nola let this team down 2 nights ago. Last night was fantastic. A great way to get the bad juju of the 3-game losing streak out of your mouth and out of your head. Great job. Rob Thompson was able to do something he wasn't able to do the night before. Rally the troops. Everybody. We used to say that on my softball team. We'd be in the dugout. We'd be down 20-0. We go in. We got this. We're going to come back. Everybody hits this inning. And then we'd have 3 straight pop-outs to the shortstop or something. But Rob Thompson was able to rally the crowd. Everybody hit last night. It's great. Fantastic. Woohoo. Yay. The team still had a 3-game losing streak, though. And Aaron Nola had the opportunity to shut the door. He did not. Aaron Nola needs to be held accountable for it. Usually when Nola and Wheeler pitch, the offense doesn't show up and score runs. Absolutely correct, Adam. But that's not the way it's supposed to be. And you know what? Normally when Nola and Wheeler are pitching, you're going up against the other team's ace. Aaron Nola went up against Zach Gallen. Zach Gallen is ahead of Aaron Nola even before that start in the Cy Young candidacy or rate or race. Of course, the Phillies aren't going to score 5, 6, 7 runs against Zach Gallen. The Diamondbacks are not a great team. They're not a bad team, but they're not a great team. And I said it on Monday's show. This week was not going to go as Phillies fans hoped or thought it would. I said there's a really strong chance we're going to go 3-3 this week. We're 1-2 so far this week. We got a 3-game set this weekend coming up against the Giants. It is not going to be an easy 3 games against the Giants. Aaron Nola against Zach Gallen. It should have been a 3-2, 2-1 type game. It was not. And that's the problem. I don't care that the bats didn't show up. Aaron Nola didn't show up. Aaron Nola needed to be able to come out on Tuesday night and just throw bullets up there. Straight. The Diamondbacks' success comes on their pitching, not their offense. And their offense, those kids were swinging loose. They were swinging at everything that was thrown up there. They were playing without a care in the world. A team that's done for the season normally does. And Aaron Nola should have been able to dominate that Diamondbacks lineup. He should have been able to go out there and throw 7. Now, and I said this on Monday. I wonder what the record is of a pitcher the day after a complete game the game after a complete game. Aaron Nola's previous start was a complete game shutout, 101 pitches. And I said to them, like, hey, is there a way we can find out his 3 other complete game shutouts, how he did the day after or the game after? Well, this time it did not go well. So the question is, his last 3 outings, Aaron Nola. Let me pull him back up here on my screen here. He is gone, obviously, with his bad outing the other night. He gave up, what was it? I'm trying to pull the box score, and Aaron Nola's lines up here. 8 runs he gave up, 10 hits. That's big there. 10 hits he gave up there in his last start. But we all know the start before that, he had his complete game shutout. But the start before that, he also gave up 5 runs and 8 hits. So in his last 3 starts, he's gone 5 innings, 5 runs, 9 innings, no runs, 4 innings, 8 runs. 2 of his last 3 starts, he's given up a total of 13 runs. We can go back 7 starts ago. So 3 of his last 7 starts, he's given up 5 runs or more. 4 of his last 9 starts, he has given up 5 runs or more. Are we starting to see Aaron Nola's plateau of the season, which happens every year, again happen? And this is why I said before the season, I tried to change my tune this year because he was pitching so well. But this is why I said at the beginning of the season, Aaron Nola is not an ace pitcher. He is not a Cy Young pitcher like he was in 2018. That's just not who he was. And that's not who he is. But people want him to be. And then they make excuses. And you know who you are out there. I've responded to a lot of you out there. I've talked to a lot of you out there. Excuses. If you want to be the big game pitcher, you got to be the big game pitcher. This is an exact, Anthony, excellent point here. And I've said this before. A team that's contending for the World Series is not putting Aaron Nola out there game 1 in a playoff series. He's not. Now, let's not take anything away. Aaron Nola from May through July had a fantastic season. He was pitching great for a 3-month stretch there. He was pitching like a stud pitcher does. But you got to take the whole season into account. He struggled in April, and he's struggling in August, and he's struggling always in September in his career. So, you take the whole picture, and he's not who he is. He's a 3. He's a 2 on a good team. He's a 3 on a great team. Dude, what would he be? I don't even know right now because I haven't paid attention lately. I know they've had some injuries, but a team like the Dodgers, they just throw so many stud pitchers out there on the rate. Would Aaron Nola be the 3rd pitcher on the Dodgers? Probably not. On the Astros or the Yankees or hell, the Mets, would he be the number 3 pitcher on those teams? Probably not. But he's our number 1 pitcher right now because Zach Wheeler's hurt. But even with it, there's always the debate who's won, Wheeler or Nola. Guys, I'm not trying to bring the negativity down after a big win yesterday. I'm not. Yesterday was an excellent, excellent game. It's what this team needed. And when Bailey Falter goes out there as the guy that has to stop a 3-game losing streak, and he does against a bad Diamondbacks offense. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. And when Aaron Nola can't do that, it makes me concerned. So I'm not trying to say the world's falling. I'm still saying the Phillies will make the playoffs. But it's not going to be the results once we get to the playoffs that everybody hopes. This team is not just going to magically cruise past these good teams. People saying, they're going to win the first round. They're going to push it. Guys, realistic expectations. You could be a fan. I've been told lately I'm not a fan when I say these kind of comments. I'm not a real Phillies fan. No, I'm a realistic Phillies fan. I know what I see, and I call it as it is. And you all know who you are. Oh, we have to only talk about the offense because they stunk one game. Well, now they were great last night. I was planning, no matter how many runs they scored last night, I was planning on starting the show off exactly like this with the Aaron Nola situation. But guys, I'm not trying to kill Aaron Nola here. I'm just trying to remind you who Aaron Nola is, who people think he is, and what the results are we're going to get. We're going to have, if you look at it, like I said, 4 out of his last 9 starts, he's given up 5 or more runs. That's not what an ace pitcher does. That's not what a stud pitcher does. Now, they got 3 games coming up starting tomorrow against the Giants. Now, I need a second here to bring this up here to get back to the right page. But if I remember correctly, I remember looking at this a few days ago, and it's not like this is a cakewalk series against the Giants either. Yeah, here we go. We got Alex Cobb going tomorrow night against us. 3.81 ERA. He's not a stud pitcher, but he's a good pitcher. We've got Carlos Rodon going against us, and Ranger Suarez, who's been struggling just as bad. Everybody wanted the Phillies to trade for Carlos Rodon. He's 3rd in the league in strikeouts. We strike out a lot. Sunday afternoon's game, guys, don't be surprised. Just like how last night everybody had multiple hits in our lineup, and everybody scored, and everybody drove in runs last night, don't be surprised if everyone has multiple strikeouts in our lineup on Sunday. It is going to be a struggle this weekend. You got Gibson Cobb. Thank God it's on Apple TV because I wasn't going to watch a 10-15 Friday night game anyway. Gibson versus Cobb. Syndergaard against Junis. I don't know who this Junis kid is. Let's see here. 29. He's 4-4, 404. Jacob Junis. Maybe that's the game that we have a chance at, but Syndergaard struggled his last outing. Ranger Suarez. Let me bring up his last 5. 6 runs, 3 runs, 0 runs, 1 runs, 3. He hasn't been great his last 2. He's only made it through 9 innings his last 2 starts combined. It's going to be a rough 3 games this weekend in San Fran. And don't forget, Gabe Kapler is the boss man there in San Francisco. He's always got a little extra when he faces the Phillies, his team, his former team that he led. Guys, this is not the end of the world. The world isn't falling. The sky isn't falling. We're on a West Coast trip. I said it on Monday. Most of the time, when you have a 6 or longer game West Coast trip, 2-4, 3-3, that would be acceptable. But because of the 6-1 stretch against the Pirates and the Reds, where people forget how bad those 2 teams are, everyone was expecting 4-2, 5-1 on this stretch. I said 3-3 would be a success this week. And it's going to be tough to get there. Will we? I don't know. But the world is not falling. We are still in that second wild card spot. We're still 3 games up, I believe it is. I'm refreshing my screen to that page right now. We are still 3 games up on Brewers, who are the team, the first team outside the wild card right now. We got something like an 80-some% chance based off of the computer algorithms to make the playoffs. I know a couple days ago it was like 90%, but, still. We're still 7-3 in our last 10. But guys, the world's not falling. But we have to be realistic with what this team is. We're going to get to this, Mason. We are going to get to this. Let me wrap up my Phillies talk. Then we are going to get to Eagles here in about 2-3 minutes here. The Phillies are going to make the playoffs. But we have to be critical of the right people at the right times. Aaron Nola needed to be criticized for how small. Look, Jalen Hurts, we're going to get to the Eagles. This will segue. If Jalen Hurts comes out Sunday next week against the Lions and has a bad game, but we win, People are still going to be critical of Jalen Hurts. Why can we not be critical of our best players when they come up small? In all sports, people love being critical of Joel Embiid when he has a bad game, or James Harden when he has a bad game. But Aaron Nola has a bad game, and Philly fans want to turn the page and talk about something else. You have to be critical of your best players when they come up small in big moments. Aaron Nola came up small 2 nights ago in a big moment. And not just small, minuscule, Ant-Man size. That's how he came in. Hurts is elite, but he's going to have bad games. Aaron Nola is not elite. He's been elite at times. But be critical when they come up. Call it as you see it. Don't try to create a narrative just to have a narrative. All right, I'm going to take another sip of my coffee here. We're done with the Phillies. Tomorrow starts that Giants series. We're not really going to talk too much Phillies tomorrow, if any at all, on this show because Jason's back. We're going to do my Eagles schedule prediction. We're going to go game by game. I'm going to give my one time. I don't give 7 different predictions for my win-loss record. I don't predict the win-loss record in March. I wait till the week before or the week of. I'm going to do my final one-time prediction for the Eagles schedule tomorrow with Jason. We're going to see how it goes. I don't even know. I haven't even really fully studied the schedule. Instead of working today at work, I'm going to work on tomorrow's show at work today. Yeah, I'm a really good boss. I know. But, yeah, predictions. Goody. I know. All right. Anyway, sip of coffee, breathe for a second. Then we're going to get to the positivity of the Eagles because they're at least positive right now. All right. Lots to dive into with the Eagles. So many different topics. Oh, real quick, like I said, predictions. Phillies will go 2-1 this weekend. How? I don't know. But they will go 2-1. They will finish 3-3 on this road trip like I thought they would. I don't know how, but they will. The one game that scares me is Sunday's game against Carlos Rodon. All right, Phillies, done. George, welcome to the conversation. Mason, welcome to the conversation. Anthony, hang in there in this conversation. Adam, hang in there. Let's talk Eagles. Do we start with this point here? Yeah, Eagles positive till halftime Sunday when we're down 14-10. Yeah, exactly. Overreaction Monday at halftime on Sunday. Jalen Reagor yesterday finally traded by Howie Roseman. Now, I know every trade is different. I know every trade, there's different scenarios behind the scenes that go into it. Contracts, players, money, so much that goes into it. But I said it before. I'm going to say it again. I haven't always been on board with Howie Roseman, the GM. But I have said for a very long time that Howie Roseman, the trader, is the number one asset of his repertoire. Not cap management. Not, all the other stuff that he does. Not his bad drafting or good drafting, whatever you want to say. The way he squeaks value out of trades. And again, like I said, every trade is different. But again, I brought it up the other day. I'm going to bring it up again. The Cowboys got a 6th-round draft pick for Amari Cooper, a Pro Bowl level wide receiver. The Eagles then were able to trade J.J. Arcega-Whiteside to Seattle for a player that they flipped for a 5th-round pick. Then they were able to trade Jalen Reagor to Minnesota for a 7th-round pick and a 5th or 4th, depending on the conditions. It's really weird. Normally it's like, all right, well, it's a conditional 3rd that could turn into a 2nd or conditional 5th that could turn into a 4th. The way it was phrased this week on this trade yesterday was it's a 4th that could de-escalate to a 5th. Why they didn't just say it was a 5th that could turn into a 4th, I don't know. There's got to be something weird in the fine print there for them to make it phrased like that. So even if it falls to the de-escalated part, he was able to get a 7th and a 5th for Jalen Reagor. He was able to get basically a 5th for J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. When all Amari Cooper was able to fetch Dallas was a 6th. It is time to continue. Yeah, terrible. I wouldn't say terrible in April. He's getting better. His last 2 Aprils have been pretty damn good there, Anthony. What's up, Scotty? Time to put the respect on Howie's name and how he maneuvers. There was that article that came out. I think it was Crossing Broad, shared something earlier this week about how Howie Roseman is the most hated GM in football. And this was through agents and players and stuff like that. Look, first off, he was the most hated for the second time GM in football. But mind you, if you actually read the entire article, he won the most hated GM award because he got the most votes. But do you know how many votes he got? 4. 4 votes is all it took. There was 26 or 30 people polled. It only took 4 votes to win that award. And the last time it only had taken 6 votes to win. So it's not like there was 30 votes and 20 people voted for him, or there was 200 votes and 150 people voted for him. 4 people voted for him as the worst GM, and that won it. So that means a whole bunch of other people got votes as the most hated GM. So that whole thing was bogus. But yeah, Howie Roseman, gold medal mental gymnast. Dude, this guy just finds a way constantly. Even last year, how he moved from 6 down to 12, then back up to 10, picked up extra first-round picks, was able to pick up extra first-round picks this year, next year. The way he maneuvers the trades. If I was a GM and I was calling him, man, if I needed to call or talk to Howie Roseman, man, I'd be making sure I'd be checking my pockets. I'd be making sure I check everything. Because you know you're going to get fleeced by Howie Roseman. He is going to hold the line. He is not afraid. I think Howie wanted a 4th for Jalen Reagor. He got a 4th and a 7th, could fall into 5th. Howie Roseman, if the Vikings did not add that 7th round pick and that 4th round, condition to the draft or to the trade, would have said, all right, I'm not just taking a 5th, and hung up that phone. The thing about Howie is not afraid to toe the line, say, this is my line. I'm not crossing it. You don't want to come to my side? Boom. Done. I don't care. I don't care what the media says about me. I don't care about the fans. I'm going to put Jalen Reagor on the team if I have to. Fine. I don't care. I'll get something out of him. Maybe, maybe not. But I'm going to stick to what I want. And these teams just keep crossing the line to give them something. It's crazy how easy it is. Now, he's good 12 months a year. That's the problem. Trades will try. Yeah, exactly. If Reagor doesn't rebound. So that's another crazy thing. Reagor going to Minnesota. Man, the play behind Justin Jefferson, I think people read too much into it. But it is kind of funny that Ortega-Whiteside goes to Seattle, and he was cut, but then added to their practice squad there in Seattle to play with DK Metcalf, who everybody knows now that we should have taken over JJ. Everybody should have taken over JJ. And we all know now Justin Jefferson was the right pick over Jalen Reagor, obviously. And now Reagor has to play with Jefferson. JJ Ortega-Whiteside has to play with DK Metcalf. People read way too much into it. But, man, it's kind of hilarious. It's kind of ironic. It's kind of a lot of things. It's fun to discuss that. Look, I want to close the chapter on Jalen Reagor. I, along with George and some other people, very few, but some people, wish Jalen Reagor best in his future endeavors. The dude has, off the field, in his time in Philly, gone through so much. He has gone through so much. Personal, lost family members, friends. He struggled to handle being an adult in the NFL with the social media aspect of things. The bullying. And there's one thing of criticizing a player, and there's another thing bullying. The criticizing, and him not being able to handle it. It went too far. He has gone through so much off the field. I want to see him succeed as a human, as a person. Will he? I don't know. Can he overcome it all in a fresh start? I don't know. Obviously, they got Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson. I don't know the rest of the wide receiver depth chart in Minnesota. I could probably look it up pretty fast. I don't know he's going to have to fight with. Minnesota Vikings depth chart. Let's see here. Who else does he have to fight with here for catches and importance here? So they got Jefferson, Thielen. Oh, KJ Osborne. He's a good up-and-comer. He is now listed as their 4th wide receiver already. All right. So, I mean, he's going to be expected to do something in Minnesota. Fifth, fourth. He's going to be expected to contribute at some point this year. And they want him to punt return. That's a concern because obviously we know he's not great at that. Look, I wish him well. I want to close the book. I don't want to bash him. He comes back in week 2 when we play. Week 2's Minnesota, here in Philly, Monday Night Football. Man, the crowd's going to get on him. He's going to be back there to return the first punt. Man, the crowd's going to get on him. And I know it. It's a Monday night, lubricated at Philadelphia of Eagles fans. It's going to happen. But I want to close the book on him. I want to wish him well. I hope he's able to turn his career around to the extent we do need a punt returner. And so do you. Well, you guys at least now have a punt returner in Minnesota. We don't have a punt returner in Philly now, which we're going to get to here in a few minutes when we talk about all the roster additions and changes the Eagles made. Look, is it crazy, guys, to wish a guy that busted for us? Is it crazy to wish him well, except for week 2 when he plays against us? Is it crazy for me to want to see him succeed? Or am I a bad Eagles fan? I'm sure someone will get this clip at 31 minutes and say, I want to see Jalen Reagor succeed and call me crazy or not a real Eagles fan or something like that. Look, he's a human being. I hope he does well. How funny would it be? Man, I'm going to be in Mexico for Monday Night Football that week. I'm going to be sitting in a bar on the beach watching the game, drinking I don't know what at that time of the night. Probably Jack on the Rocks. I don't know. Something like that. Thank you, George. I know you would appreciate me wanting him to do well. And if Jalen Reagor returns a kick, dude, don't hold me accountable for any tweet I make after that because I will be in Mexico, like I said, in an all-inclusive resort. And yes, no, it would not be funny. I will have some very lubricated responses if that happens. No doubt about it. But it could. I mean, he did have hold on. I had his stats up here somewhere on my screen. I think he had 1 punt return for us. Yeah, 1 punt return his rookie year for a touchdown. Yeah. Actually, his punt returning average his rookie year was not bad. He averaged 23.5 yards a punt return. Probably so high because of his one. He had a 73-yard punt return touchdown. Okay, so that's why. He's 7.3. I wonder where 7.3 last year with average per return ranks in the NFL. Last year, I want him to kill against the Eagles, but the Eagles will. Yeah, exactly. That's fine. Hey, maybe I'll even potentially, George, showdown. I don't know if you can even do DraftKings there in England. Showdown, single game lineup. I'm going to do a single game lineup for that Eagles Vikings game, and I'm going to put Jalen Reagor in it, just with the hope that he scores a touchdown against the Eagles. All right, the book is closed, and when one book closes, another book opens. You like what I said there? Yeah, one book closes. No, anybody getting that joke? 0.3 above. Yeah, Greg Ward, man, Greg Ward. Anthony, I was trying to do a funny segue into Ian Book, but you just brought up Greg Ward. Greg Ward not on the team anymore. Guys, this scares some of you. Okay, good. So you have daily fantasy out there. It's weird because there's still not. It's not. DraftKings is still and FanDuel is still not legal in every state in the U.S. It's insane. 0.3 above Greg Ward. Greg Ward, guys. Yes, it was a dad joke. My book. It was absolutely. Greg Ward will be back on this team when he is healthy. I really think it. At some point this year, you are going to see Greg Ward dressed as one of the dressed guys in the Eagles. The Eagles got wide receiver. They still, at this current moment, only have 4 wide receivers on the active roster. Greg Ward will be back. Yeah, I want to move to Florida, Anthony, but that's one of the things that I'm going to hate about being in Florida is that I can't bet on sports. There's got to be some way to link to an offshore account or something like that. There's got to be a way around it. I agree about Greg Ward. He will be back. I mean, he might miss 3 or 4 weeks with injury, but they are bringing him back. Anthony's PFP reminds me of Mitch Trubisky. The wide receiver situation. You've got, obviously, your 4 guys, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, Zach Pascal. You trade Jalen Reagor. The other three guys all got cut. Covey, Deion Kane, Devin Allen, Britton Covey, all got cut, all got added to the practice squad. Thank God that they all did, because now we got issues. These guys at least know the playbook now from being in camp. We only got 4 guys. Week 1's right around the corner. This is an interesting question. There's 4 or 5 of you guys right now. Comment in the comment section. Will the Eagles be promoting Britton Covey, who I think they will? Even if they kept Jalen Reagor, I thought they would, for the punt and kick return, role. Because there is nobody on this team right now that can punt and kick return right now, that I would have confidence in doing it at least. Will they promote 2 of those practice squad guys, say Covey and Deion Kane? I don't know. I don't do it. I can legally bet, but I'm sure they exist. I'm sure they do. Maybe I'll get one of those offshore accounts to sponsor the show. Or do you think there's been a lot of names released? There's a lot of other names on the trade market out there. Will the Philadelphia Eagles bring in another veteran wide receiver? I think they just promote Britton Covey and go with the 5 for week 1 against Detroit, because there's other issues on this team, other positions that are going to need to be filled. I think you can protect 4 and call up 2 of those 4 every single week off the practice squad. Britton Covey will be dressing in midnight green or whatever color they wear week 1. The question is, will they bring up somebody else? Because most weeks, they're going to put Jalen Hurts as the punt returner. No, Britton Covey will be the punt returner. I'd like to see Jalen Hurts back there. Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't even suggest that, okay? I don't even know if they normally dress 5 or 6 on Sundays for wide receiver. Normally it's 5. They like the kids and Ward, how he's done. Yeah. George, he's not done. There's one other thing that they got to address, and we're going to get to that in a second. But that's why, knowing that we only have 4 active wide receivers on the roster is why I still think Greg Ward will be back. Now, I'm surprised they didn't put him on the PUP list. That's what I would have done. Instead of cutting him or giving him the injured settlement, I would have just kept him on the team, put him on the PUP list. It doesn't take a roster spot. Then you don't risk losing him. Everybody knows I'm not a biggest Greg Ward fan, but whatever. It's just a joke to an extent. But Britton Covey will be on the active roster. And they will not be bringing in a veteran wide receiver. Russell Wilson just got a contract. Oh, man, you're going to make me go to Twitter here to see what this contract extension is here. You're making me spur of the moment search something here, because I do want to see what the contract is saying. The first thing I see is Russell Wilson got that money from my man Joe Pepe right there. That's the first thing I see. Here it is. 5 years, $245 million, $165 million guaranteed for Russell Wilson. Lamar, they're talking about it now, that no way around that baseline for Lamar Jackson, because Watson got 230, Murray got 230, Russell Wilson gets 245, 165 guarantee. So he is now, so this is an extension onto what he's already got to. Now he is going to make, over the next 7 years, almost $300 million in Denver. So to those people, it is an issue. We're going to get to that, because this breaking news on Russell Wilson, because there's a lot of fans that wanted Russell Wilson in midnight green, including me to an extent, because, if they weren't going to go with Jalen Hurts, I'm a Russell Wilson fan. I like that. They are out of control, Anthony. They are to an extent. Super Bowl for the Broncos? Absolutely not. I am not buying the hype with the Broncos whatsoever. Not at all. $296 million over the next 7 years to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's a great quarterback, one of the best of all time, obviously. Got a Super Bowl ring, been to the Super Bowl multiple times, et cetera, et cetera. But was he just a product of that system in Seattle? Great running game, phenomenal defense. I'm not trying to take anything away from Russell Wilson. In Denver, they've got unproven wide receivers. They got questions in their running back. Their defense is aging and not as good as it used to be. It's a problem. I know. That's another. Let's not get into that right there. Let's not get into that one today. I don't think it's good for. He's going to be there for a long time, I know, and they're going to have to, but they're going to find out real quick that the team around him is not good enough, and then they're going to have no money to fix all that. I don't know. I just don't know. Yeah, Russell Wilson's going to be driving around a Lambo up through all the snow and mountains in Denver. Man, I don't know. I don't know. They have good receivers. What's Jerry Jeudy done yet? Cortland Sutton, didn't he go down, or was the other guy that went down? Timothy Patrick got hurt for the year. Cortland Sutton hasn't done anything since he's been injured 2 years ago. Who are their great receivers? They're okay, but they're unproven. Jerry Jeudy was a top draft pick. Hasn't done anything. Yes, he had Drew Lock throwing to him. I know that's going to be your next comment. But just like a quarterback can make a wide receiver better, a wide receiver can make a quarterback better. I don't know. I'm just not sold. Yeah, Sutton's proven, but he hasn't been proven since he got hurt. He was okay. See, I knew somebody was going to say this. Jeudy, first year with a good quarterback. Well, maybe he should have helped elevate Drew Lock a little bit. All right. Maybe. We'll see if my theory is correct. Maybe DK Metcalf makes Geno Smith look a little bit better. He's not going to make him look like an all-star, but maybe he looks a little bit better with a good wide receiver. Just saying, guys. It goes both ways. All right, we're going to find out. I mean, the other aspect of it all is Patrick's down for the year, I believe, so he's not even in the picture anymore. What was I going to say? I lost my train of thought here. Oh, even the Broncos, though, even if Russell Wilson plays well this year, even if the Broncos are better, they still got Kansas City, always in the championship game or Super Bowl. The Los Angeles Chargers, Herbert, Allen, that whole team, Eckler. Everybody thinks they're going to take another step forward. I don't, but everyone thinks they're going to take another step forward. Side note, I'll get to this in a second. We're getting way off target here because it's breaking news. The Raiders, I think Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, and that crew is going to be one of the best offenses in football. They got probably the toughest division in football. Is giving him that much money? Is that going to ensure them a division, playoffs, deep runs? I don't know, and I don't think so because that division is going to battle it out and destroy each other for the next 5 years. I just don't know. Remember what I talk about, guys. I talk about timing all the time. The Eagles are perfect timing to go all in because the NFC is wide open. Is Denver poorly timing their all in, and it might not work out for them? Just saying, timing is everything in sports. The timing is great for the Eagles right now. The timing for Denver, not so much. On a side note, and I don't want this to start another whole long conversation here, somebody said this to me the other day. One of my customers came in the pizza shop, and it got me thinking. Everybody's all hyped about Justin Herbert. Is Justin Herbert just another Phillip Rivers? A great thrower of the ball, a great quarterback, but last year, basically, everybody's hyping the Chargers up to be this great team this year. They basically had the same team last year. What were they, 8-9? Missed the playoffs? Whatever their record was? He looks great, comes up small in the big moments, maybe. I don't know. Is Justin Herbert a lot like Phillip Rivers where he's just never going to get to the promised land? It's an interesting thought that popped into my head that I don't know if it's true or not, but it got me thinking. And now I'm thinking that maybe that's who Justin Herbert is. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if maybe he's missing the clutch gene. I mean, at the end of the year last year, I watched his game. I was at the Eagles-Chargers game last year at the Link. Yeah, I saw a few people tweeting about this yesterday. I was at that game against the Link against the Chargers, and he picked the Eagles defense apart, but the Eagles defense was in shambles at that point. But he didn't do anything that, like, wow, did he just make that throw? Like, I didn't see any of that. So it kind of, like, makes me think, Phillip Rivers, Justin Herbert, and then there's nothing. Phillip Rivers had a Hall of Fame career, just never won the big game. Never even won the big game to get to the big game. Something to think about as you watch Justin Herbert this year, as you think about it. Look, in my opinion, I've got the Raiders winning that division. that AFC West. I think the Chiefs are right there too. They're both going to win about 11, 12 games. I just don't know if Russell Wilson at Denver Broncos team is good enough to win more than 9 games this year, which means no playoffs. That's just my 2 cents. And then I got the Chargers right around 8, 9 wins again. There is a chance that all teams in that division win 9 games or more. There is definitely a chance. We're getting reports. We got firsthand Minnesota knowledge at Reagor's lockers right by Jefferson's. Great. Honestly, no offense, Mason. I closed the book on Jalen Reagor to open up new books. I'm over it. Till week 2, I could care less about Jalen Reagor. George, friendly bet. That is not happening. Guarantee it. George, my sources are always right. Always. I don't have sources. They will beat up on each other. Absolutely. No, we are not reopening the book on Jalen Reagor. Done. Moving on. Eagles, let's open that book on Ian Book. So the Eagles, part of the cut down days things, they cut Reed Sinnett, they cut Carson Strong. I still don't get the Carson Strong situation. Giving $300+ grand guaranteed to an undrafted free agent, and then not even playing him in practice or in games, really, just to cut him, not bring him back to the practice squad. You bring Reed Sinnett, who we saw in preseason a lot of, and he stunk. So you bring him back, and then the Eagles go and claim off of waivers Ian Book from the Saints. When you claim him off of waivers, you have to put him on the 53-man roster. So Ian Book is now our 3rd-string quarterback with Reed Sinnett on the practice squad. And I'm confused on why. I mean, he played in 1 game last year as a rookie. I think he was like 12 of 22, threw a couple interceptions, lost his start when he started last year. Notre Dame product. It turns out, reports late last night or early this morning, whenever they came out, I read them this morning. Yeah, he was awful. He must not have recovered from his injury. That's the only thing that makes sense. But it turns out that they tried to claim Kellen Munn, who got released, who everybody knows was on last year's Chris Sims top 40 quarterback list instead of Jalen Hurts. That one really aged well there, Chris Sims. Really, really, really well. They put in a claim to him. They lost that claim to Cleveland. So then they went to Ian Book. And Ian Book does give them that similar read option, mobile quarterback type guy that the Eagles like to have here in Philly. But I just don't get what they're doing. The quarterback factory, what they're doing there. I mean, do we really want Ian Book? I mean, if we get to our 3rd-string quarterback, guys, let's be honest. The shit's hit the fan. And we're done. We're not making the playoffs if we're worried about our 3rd-string quarterback. Hell, if we need 4 or 5 starts from Gardner Minshew, we're in trouble. But Ian Book, I just don't understand. For all the good Howie's done, I just don't understand what he's doing. And every year he does this. He rotates through these 3rd-string quarterbacks. I don't know what he's looking for in these guys, but I don't get it. He's not going to dress on Sundays. He's got to be part of the 53. He won't be part of the 47 that dress on Sundays. I just don't understand what he did there. Kelly Munn is shit well proven by the Vikings. Yes, absolutely. Yes, season's over if we're worried about Ian Book. I just don't understand the move. I really don't. Sinnett looked good at practice but had meltdowns in games. Yeah, I mean, if Minshew, honestly, at this point, you can't trade Gardner Minshew now. I do trust Howie. I do. Just not with this situation. I just don't. It's not that I don't trust him. I don't understand the thought process. Look, we get back to this. We can't trade Gardner Minshew now. Because if you trade Gardner Minshew, who's going to be the backup quarterback? It's not going to be Ian Book. God forbid. You're not going to bring Reed Sinnett up to be the backup quarterback at this point. God forbid. It means you're going to have to go find Joe Flacco on the open market. I do not have selective trust. I just want to question certain aspects of his decision-making so that I can understand why. I want the thought process behind it all. All right. That was like 4 minutes on backup quarterbacks. Why are we even talking backup quarterbacks? Because, again, as Anthony says, season's over. If we have to talk about backup quarterbacks and 3rd-string quarterbacks, the season is over. Oh, my God. Anthony, you're breaking my heart. Don't say that. He's done. I don't even best backup quarterback of all time, maybe. But I don't even think he's got it. I don't even think he could be a backup quarterback anymore. I think his career is basically over. No, but maybe you could trade Minshew in October. I don't know. In-depth show. Yeah, this has been a blast going solo. I got 10 minutes to go here, and I haven't even covered half the things I wanted to cover. This has been, hey, to everybody, Anthony, Mason, George, everybody commenting here, man. This has been a blast. This is what I do this for. This is what. No, it didn't have to be said, Anthony. What had to be said was me saying thank you to all of you guys for hanging with me for an hour here today, this morning. I hadn't even gotten through my full first cup of coffee here. That's how much we're having fun here today. But it did not have to be said. You did not have to bring up Nick Foles' name. Look, we got to worry about the backup, third-string quarterback. We're in trouble. All right. I had other things I wanted to bring up here. Let's see. First off, I really have barely addressed it because we had Ref the District Trev on yesterday morning. And if you guys didn't catch that Trev interview, go listen to it. A lot of interesting comments, a lot of interesting conversation, and him saying that he prefers, if he had to pick, Carson Wentz over Jalen Hurts. That blew my mind. What they thought Carson Wentz, they'd rather for the next 5 years have Wentz in Washington than Jalen Hurts. Boom. I don't know. But interesting conversation there, and he explains it. Because of that, I didn't really get to address the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson trade. I had to bring up his name on the screen so I can not mess it up. Dude, we got to come up with a nickname for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson because I can't be saying that long-ass name all the time on the air. Eagles traded with the Saints for this kid. He's a cornerback, a slot corner that is going to play safety. The biggest surprise to me on cutdown day was Anthony Harris. Yeah, exactly. I will. Don't you worry. Week 4 when we thrash the Washington Commanders, I will be asking him about that. The biggest surprise on cutdown day to me was CJ Gardner. Yeah, I could go CJ Gardner. CGJ just doesn't flow. It just CJG. I'm just gonna George. You watch enough of my shows. You know I butcher names. Anthony Harris being cut really surprised me. And then 10 minutes later, this trade was announced. But then I'm like, hold on, this guy's a cornerback. And, somebody did the stat breakdown. He played 8% of his snaps or 6% of his snaps at safety. Look, first and foremost, I love the move. You're getting a high-quality player for very cheap. I mean, we gave a 5th-round pick basically for him. Yeah, we're just going to call him Chauncey. Just Chauncey. That's it. High-quality player, great trash talker, great locker room guy that gets the troops fired up, guy that you want on your team, that dog mentality we talk about in sports. But we're slotting him in as our starting safety opposite the legend Marcus Epps, who's now a legend because NFL Morning on NFL Network did a whole segment on Marcus Epps. He's a legend now. He's going to be a Pro Bowl all-pro safety, Marcus Epps. You're slotting next to him a guy that has even less experience at safety than Marcus Epps does. Does that concern anybody? I got a little concern. I do. Not going to lie. Little concern about bringing in a guy. Yeah, and this is a huge point right here, and I was going to get to that in a second. It does concern me that they're going to put a guy at safety that's mainly played in the slot. We've moved Jalen Mills to safety before. Didn't work out great. Vontae Maddox, he played some safety his rookie year. Wasn't great, wasn't bad. But we saw what happens when you move slot guys out of position. It doesn't always work out well. Now, I know Jonathan Gannon has a hybrid defense, and slots and safeties are kind of interchangeable. Now, they want to pay him, the Saints, like a slot corner. We saw what Avonte Maddox got. Safeties get paid more. He wants to get paid more. And I think that's why he wants to move to safety. If you could play DB and you could play safety, not concerned at all, this is a great move. It's a great move. Don't get me wrong. But he's not been here before. He's got a week and a half to learn the playbook, a week, whatever it is. And he's never really played the position. It's one thing if you made this move 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, and he had all of camp to work on it. He's basically got a week to learn a whole new team's playbook and how to play a position full-time that he played sparingly. I'm just saying that I'm slightly concerned there might be some rough. Yes, Epps is a legend. Dude, come on. You're a legend to me, George. but not many other people think that. They had to play him in the slot because the Saints were stacked at safety. That's fine, but he still hasn't played it. I do trust the process. I still can't believe you got a kid of his potential. We have fleeced the Saints twice now in the last couple of months in trades. I'm good with it. But you know me. You guys know. Mason, you're learning. Anthony, you're learning. I like to just see both sides of the board. There is that little concern. Was anybody else surprised before this trade happened? Anthony Harris got cut. I was what? I was like, holy crap! I couldn't believe Anthony Harris got cut. It really surprised me. Really surprised me. Could he be another Malcolm Jenkins? I don't know. Malcolm Jenkins kind of played that hybrid safety position, which is kind of like the new breed of safety, where you play up on the line, you play in coverage, you play safety, you do a little bit of anything. Yeah, I mean, dude, if you didn't see the article, guys, in the report yesterday, after he got cut, he still made his appearance last night. So he got cut 2 days ago, and then last night he still had a charity event in Philly to do. He still went to it. He could be sulking, and he signed on the practice squad. The fact that Anthony Harris was willing to take a practice squad spot with the Eagles instead of going and trying to get a starting job. Look, Anthony Harris is what he is. But he probably could have gotten a job on another team on the active 53. He wanted to stay with this team. To me, that is insane. Speaks volumes of what this team is and what he thinks of this team and Philadelphia wanting to be here. He knows there's a chance that something's going to happen. He's going to get back on the active roster within a few weeks, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, no, I agree. I actually think because when we claimed Ian Book off of waivers, we cut Davian Taylor. So we're going with the youth movement you said here, but we cut Davian Taylor. Wouldn't that mean the youth movement that would keep Davian Taylor? Then we trade Jalen Reagor. Guys, I don't know if the Philadelphia Eagles have picked up another player yet. So they still might have one open spot on the active roster. I don't know. Maybe that's to bump Anthony Harris back up. I don't know. Or the final topic I want to address here, my concern is at running back. I think the Eagles are going to put in a claim, if they haven't already, it just hasn't been announced, for a running back. Okay. Just the secondary on the youth movement. I know, George, you said earlier you are not concerned about Miles Sanders. I am. Yesterday at practice, Jason Kelsey, back at practice. A lot of these injured, banged-up guys, back at practice. Still not practicing Miles Sanders. We are 7 days away. Well, 1 week and a day. So today's Thursday, so we're 7, 8, 9 days away from week 1 when we kick off against the Detroit Lions. Our starting running back has not played he hasn't touched a football in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. You've only got Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell on the roster. You got the Brooks kid from Alabama on the practice squad. Is that really who's going to be your third string running back on Sunday against Detroit? I am concerned. The fact that he's still not practicing concerns me, that we only have 2 active NFL running backs on our roster. And I think that's what that final 53rd spot goes to. You know, they need to look at Mac, Freeman, Drake. Drake, I think, got picked up by Baltimore. Forgive me. I'm not sure. I know he went to Baltimore to check it out. Marlon Mack, maybe. Freeman, I don't know if Freeman really does it for me. I like the Vikings to trade with the Eagles running back depth. Yeah. They are going to come out passing. You still need more than 2 running backs on your team on an active roster. You do. You can't go into a Sunday with 2 running backs. You just can't. Yeah, Drake is on the Ravens. Yeah, he signed. Yeah, I am not saying fire Howie. Come on now. Is he, though? Is Alexander Madison a good trade? Dude, he had 3 good games when Dalvin Cook got hurt. I don't know if Madison is the real deal, a good running back, or just a good backup to have. I'm not breaking the bank to bring in Madison. You want your 7th round pick back? that you gave us for Reagor? Sure. You can have your 7th round pick back for Madison. But I'm not giving up a 4th or 5th round pick for him. Oh my God, here we go. The jokes are just flowing in. They're not dad jokes, they're just bad jokes, George. I am concerned with the running back position, guys. I am. I don't know what they do. I will say this, by the time we get on here Monday morning, because we got tomorrow's show, maybe it happens by tomorrow, but by Monday morning, if Miles Sanders has not practiced fully by Monday morning, and I don't know what the practice schedule is this week. I know they practiced yesterday, whether they practice today or tomorrow, I don't know. Next week they'll get into their typical weekly practice where it's Monday off, Tuesday film, Wednesday, Thursday practice, Friday walkthrough, whatever. Yeah, that obviously not. Nope, 100% in on a deal for Mattinson. But what are you willing to give up for him? I don't know. Yeah, hey, George, I got to roll too. We got to wrap this show up. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. I didn't even get to talk about Serena Williams and her great performance last night. Yo, Serena, edge of my seat last night watching you play center court again at the U.S. Open. But anyway, yeah, by Monday, there will be another running back on this roster. Guarantee it. Serena, props to you. Everybody watching, again, thank you so much for your interaction today live. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Anybody watching on replay, subscribe, hit your comments even if it's on replay, I will respond to them. Make sure you're following DSM Media and myself on all social media platforms, sharing the show out as best you can. Thank you. Thank you to you guys, man. I couldn't do a solo show without the interaction. This has been a blast, guys. Fantastic day. I got to go because I got to get to work today. Stay tuned tonight, 9 o'clock tonight. The DSM Media Fantasy Football Draft. We are going to live stream the draft right here. You're not going to want to miss it. All the guys in the draft are going to be floating in and out of the stream, making fun of each other, busting stones, talking football, having a great time. Make sure you tune in tonight at 9 o'clock when we go live to stream this draft, guys. It's going to be fun, guys. Don't miss it. Everybody have a great day. Enjoy your Thursday, guys. Yo, go Birds.